Welcome to Oakland University.
Hi, how's it going?
So, you're touring right now with Kendrick Lamar. How is that going?
It's incredible. It's great to play shows to such a diverse audience, and he's got his own following. Obviously, I got mine, and you really see the two worlds, like the dance world and the hip hop world, or the people that follow his music and people that follow my music in this one space. And when he's playing, like I was watching him yesterday, like everyone knows the lyrics to every single song, and people are having a really good time. And then when I went on, I was always a little worried that like people were gonna leave or something, but the crowd was like still hyped and jumping and dancing and having a good time. So
But you didn't start in dance. You started like in hardcore, right?
yeah, I started in like the rock.
And so, how did that transition go?
The transition was more. Well, I started like playing in bands, and then eventually I started a label, and then the label gave me insight to sign other bands, obviously, and then eventually I just slowly kind of grew my business outside of just putting out records, but we started throwing parties. So when I moved to LA, I started throwing parties, and when you throw a party, at that time, it was like 2003-ish, the party promoter is also the DJ. So like I was DJing my own parties, and that was like pretty much the only way I could DJ, because I was really bad. So that's how I started DJing. And then eventually from just the act of DJing over and over again and throwing your parties, I just eventually evolved into a better DJ, and went from vinyl to eventually Serato. Now I'm with CDJs. Now I'm like video Serato with I have like a show with visuals and stuff. So, and then from DJing I went into producing, but that came natural because I was already playing in bands since I was a kid. So I was like, I picked up my first guitar when I was like 15, 16 years old, and then I just jumped into bands like right away. So like, through that whole, my first demo I made, I like recorded drums myself, guitar and bass and vocals, like, when I was like 17. So I already knew how to like write music. So I just transferred that over into production and worked with another guy, and we were called Weird Science for like from 2005 to 2007, and I learned my chops there on producing electronic music. And then from 2007 to 2011, I released. I put out a bunch of remixes and eventually released Wonderland, my album.
And so where does you have a huge stage presence? Where does that come from?
The stage show, a lot of it kind of comes from just being in bands when I was a kid, because like, especially with like when I was touring with, I was in a bunch of bands, but like I'd say like the more prominent one was This Machine Kills. We toured all over U.S., Japan. It's just like crazy screaming hardcore music. It's just like kids are thrashing around, you're thrashing around, it's part of the thing, like crowd surfing, stage diving. That was normal. It wasn't like, whoa, I can't believe someone's doing that. It was like everyone was doing it, it's part of that culture. So I just, like, when I started producing music that was emulating that sound, where I was like, sampling guitars and making songs way more harder than I thought that they should be, like just more abrasive, more like punchy, this is even earlier on, like in like 09, when I did the song Warp with the Bloody Beetroots, or remix for Fused back then. That was like really aggressive for even that period of time. At that time, like the term electro was like almost like, it was very punk for dance music. It wasn't accepted, It was too abrasive for like commercial DJs to play. It's just way too wow, 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 Now it's like, I feel like the new punk was, it's not electro anymore. Electro is like now kind of commercial now, and like the new punk is like, you know, kind of like, you know, maybe even harder dubstep. I don't even know what it is. It's all a mentality thing, but
it's more accepted.
Well, no, punk is like more of the alienated.
Okay.
You know what I mean? It's like the kind of like alternative to the commercial.
Got it.
So at that period of time, it was like I was saying, it was like back in 2009, it was like the electro sound was very much not really accepted. There's like a small crew of artists that were a small crew of artists that were like kind of waving the flag, like Justice, Mastercraft, Boys Noise, Bloody Beetroots, myself, stuff like that, and then we had like our own like fans and like people that were supporting us, but we were definitely not part of the bigger landscape of dance music. Okay. But now it's more accepted. Now it's different.
Right. So now you're big enough. You served. You had a residency at Surrender in Vegas, correct?
Yeah.
I was at your last show of your residency.
Oh, cool.
What was that like to be able to like permanently be there for a temporary piece of time?
Yeah. I was there for like 3 years, and it was really cool. It was I really loved the Win Group. I love like people I worked with a lot. Like we became good friends with like Jesse Waits, who owns Excess, and Sean Christie owns Surrender, and Shecky Green, who like hired me, who's a very good friend of DJ Am's, and also that's how I met him. Just that whole like Wayne Crane and all those guys, they're really good crew over there, and the clubs are great. You know, like Surrender's really, it was like a fun atmosphere. Excess is one of the best dance floors in Vegas. Yeah, I'm really happy that I worked with him, and they kind of, I kind of like learned, I kind of trained myself how to be able to play in that environment too, because that Vegas environment is different than like any other environment in the world.
Right.
It's wild because it's Vegas, but at the same time it's very conservative too. Like, can't just be throwing cakes at everyone there. You know, they're just like, it's just different.
Where did the cake throwing come from?
Cakes originated from, well, there's a music video of this artist on my label called Autoerotic, and I was promoting the single, and then in the music video was these slow motion cakes exploding people's faces. So I woke up one morning with the idea of just, you know, oh yeah, I could promote this song by actually caking people during the song. It'll like really connect people with the song, and I think it'll be really interesting, and people will gravitate towards the song more with that connection. So I started doing that, and then like it just like I made sure I did it every show. And this is like a long time ago, actually. You know, like maybe for caking, people think it's like not that long. I mean, I've been doing it since probably like end of 2010 or like beginning of 2011.
You mentioned your album Wonderland. You made a point that you wanted to make a video for every single track on that. Can you talk about why you felt you wanted to do that?
Can you see that?
Can you see your breath?
Are you freezing?
No, I just could see it. Yeah. Yeah. Well, okay. Last year I made 13 videos. This year I've already made like 2 or 3. I'm like obsessed with putting visuals to the music. I think it relates to people better. You know, for me it relates to me. So I always treat myself as like the first person to obviously. I have ADD, so I hear other shit. I'm just like, oh. No, but anyways, like I love doing videos. And it's fun making them. I love like also writing the ideas down. Like for Singularity, that's like the first video actually I sat down and I wrote out the concept. And I wrote other videos, but like I had like there's a lot of people that came in and put their 2 cents in. But yeah, Wonderland, I mean, obviously, like, we just released the Ooh single, which is, Wonderland came out January 2012. So, I mean, we're, like, still I mean, the only 2 songs that don't have videos is "Living My Love" and "Dangerous" at this point. But I've done every video for every other song. Yeah, and then for Neon Future, my next album, I'm working on that right now. Actually, working in the bus, in the studio, because I turned my bus into a studio as well. Kendrick has a studio as well on his bus, I think. Yeah, it's the best way to work. I can work and play, work and play, work and play. It's amazing. I can fucking play shows, and then work on music, and it's like that's the best. That's why the bus tours are amazing, because you can create your own space how you want it. So, you know, it's like, this is what I need to do to finish my album. This is the only way I can do it. I like, in the beginning of the year, I like actually reserved a lot of time off so I can actually be in a proper studio. And I wrote most of my concepts down there. And then now I'm like fleshing them out here and also coming up with new ideas. So, yeah, I'll be tons of collaborations this year as well. Then you have a collab with Knife Party coming out soon. One with Flex Pavilion, that will be on my album. And then the album itself is just like a big project.
And when can we expect that album?
I don't know when. I hate saying a date because I'm always wrong. When this early on, if I say a date, it's gonna be wrong. But I could say December, and it'll be wrong. But I could say it.
But sometime soon.
Yeah.
All right, thank you so much, Steve Aoki with WXOU and the Oakland Post from Oakland University.
All right.